Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into the thrilling, edge-of-your-seat story of the most dangerous American female spy ever, Virginia Hall. The German secret police dubbed her the most dangerous of all Allied spies, and she topped their most wanted list. Her exploits were legendary, and she accomplished them all with just one leg, earning her the nickname, the Limping Lady. Despite her incredible bravery and contributions, she never sought the spotlight. But today, we're shining it brightly on her. Buckle up, because this is the story of Virginia Hall, the greatest American female spy ever. Born in Baltimore in 1906, Virginia Hall was a prodigy with an incredible talent for languages and a razor-sharp memory. Her childhood was happy and middle class, filled with activities that would later prove invaluable. From high school drama productions to editing her school paper, Hall was a force to be reckoned with. Her brilliance was impossible to ignore, even at a time when educational opportunities for women were scarce. She studied French, Italian, and German at Harvard and Columbia, skills that would soon play a crucial role in her daring exploits. Virginia's independent spirit set her apart from the beginning. While her mother wanted her to settle down like a proper Baltimore woman, Hall was a tomboy at heart, hunting and riding bareback through the Maryland forests. Unfortunately, her love for hunting led to a life-altering accident. While working at the U.S. Embassy in Warsaw, she transferred to Izmir, Turkey, where a hunting mishap changed her fate forever. She tripped on a fence and accidentally shot herself in the foot. Gangrene set in, and her leg had to be amputated below the knee. But Virginia Hall was no ordinary woman. She named her wooden leg Cuthbert and never let it slow her down, even though she lived in constant pain. After her recovery, Hall continued her work as a consular clerk in Italy and Estonia, but the State Department's rigid policies against women and disabled individuals blocked her from becoming a diplomat. Undeterred, she appealed directly to President Roosevelt, but he ignored her plea. Frustrated, Hall resigned in 1939, just as the world was plunging into war. When World War II erupted, she couldn't sit idly by. She volunteered as an ambulance driver for the French Army, and when Paris fell in 1940, she fled to Spain, unsure of her next move. A chance encounter in Spain changed everything. At a railway station, she struck up a conversation with a fellow traveler, George Bellows, an undercover British intelligence agent. Impressed by her intelligence and grit, he handed her a contact number in London. This contact was Nicholas Boddington of the newly formed Special Operations Executive SOE, a British organization tasked with conducting espionage and sabotage behind enemy lines. Hall's language skills and European experience made her a perfect candidate, and despite her handicap, the SOE eagerly recruited her. The SOE saw potential in her that others overlooked. They trained her in Morse code, hand-to-hand combat, and the use of explosives. Hall was the only female graduate of her training group and the first spy they deployed to Vichy, France. Operating under the code name Germaine, she spent 15 months in France, creating the Heckler Network in Lyon, which provided crucial intelligence to the Allies. Her cover as a French-American reporter for the New York Post allowed her to move freely, gathering information and sending coded messages back to London. Hall's disguise was impeccable. She transformed from a chic Parisian to an unnoticeable figure, often changing her appearance with makeup and costumes. When her cover was eventually blown, she sought refuge with nuns and later a brothel owner named Germaine, who provided valuable information and shelter to agents. Germaine was eventually captured by the Germans but never betrayed Hall, a testament to the loyalty she inspired. Hall's ability to command respect and loyalty from the French resistance was extraordinary. Despite being an outsider, a woman, and lacking military rank, she earned their trust through sheer brilliance and tenacity. The German secret police soon took notice, branding her the woman who limps and declaring her one of the most dangerous Allied agents in France. But Hall was always one step ahead, her instincts and network of allies keeping her out of enemy hands. One of her most daring feats occurred in October 1941. Trusting her instincts, she avoided an SOE meeting in Marseille, only to learn later that it had been raided by the Vichy French police, capturing 12 agents. Hall masterminded their escape, smuggling tools in sardine tins to engineer George Baig, who crafted keys to break out of prison. Her meticulous planning ensured their safe passage to Spain and eventually back to the UK, allowing many of them to return to the field and lead their own SOE networks. The Germans were furious, deploying 500 agents to hunt her down in Vichy, France. But Hall was relentless. When the Allies invaded North Africa in November 1942, she knew her position was untenable and embarked on a grueling 7,500-meter trek through the Pyrenees Mountains to Spain. Arrested for illegally crossing the border, she was soon released thanks to the American embassy. Hall's time in Spain was frustrating. She wrote to London, eager to return to action, lamenting the waste of her skills. The British SOE decided she'd done enough and moved her back to England, where she received an honorary MBE. But Hall was far from finished. She joined the American Office of Strategic Services (OSS), the precursor to the CIA, albeit at a low rank. In March 1944, Hall returned to France, this time with the OSS. She was initially set to parachute in, but her wooden leg made that impossible. Instead, a gunboat dropped her off in Brittany. She adopted the alias Marcel Montaigne and the code name Diane, disguising herself as an older peasant woman with gray hair and filed-down teeth. She separated from her OSS commander, whom she didn't trust, and continued her work with the French resistance. Hall's operations were spectacular. She organized drop zones for arms supplies and orchestrated small-scale attacks on German infrastructure. Her previous contacts in the French resistance, such as Philippe de Gaulle and the Maquis, proved invaluable. She played a critical role in preparing for Operation Dragoon, the Allied invasion of southern France. Despite her successes, the OSS often failed to recognize her abilities, leading to frustration and unnecessary obstacles. Yet Hall's tenacity won over even the most hardened resistance fighters. Her battalions of resistance fighters forced the Germans out of Lyon, a significant victory with minimal Allied assistance. After the liberation of France, Hall resigned from the OSS, her mission complete. After the war, Hall dedicated herself to ensuring her operatives received recognition and pensions, often battling bureaucratic red tape. She joined the CIA in 1947 as an intelligence analyst, focusing on Soviet infiltration. Despite being frequently overlooked for promotions, she eventually led paramilitary operations in France and developed strategies for resistance groups across Europe. Virginia Hall retired in 1966 at the mandatory age of 60, her legacy as an extraordinary spy firmly cemented. She spent her later years with her husband in Maryland, passing away in 1982. During her life, she was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross, the only civilian woman to receive this honor during World War II. Her contributions were later recognized with her induction into the Military Intelligence Corps Hall of Fame and the naming of the Virginia Hall Expeditionary Center at the CIA. Virginia Hall's story is one of unparalleled courage, intelligence, and resilience. She is undoubtedly one of the greatest female spies ever. Thanks for joining us in uncovering her remarkable journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories from history. See you next time.